This is the workflow that I use to create stunning AI imagery for my landing pages and web design in general. By the end of this video, you're going to be able to create something like this. All you need is Figma and ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever your image generation of choice is. So let's dive in. Alrighty, so for this tutorial, I'm gonna use Figma and I'm just gonna draw with my mouse because that's just how I typically work. If you have a tablet or a iPad that you like to draw on, whatever you want, that's great. I just like to just do my rough sketches with the pen tool in Figma because it's most convenient and I'm already working in it. But again, it's up to you. So I'm gonna hit Shift P and that's gonna open the pen tool and that's going to allow me to draw. This is going to be an example of how I can create a image for this call to action section where you're applying for a point of sales device, some kind of banking thing. And what I want to do is basically create a nice compelling image on the right to, fill in this empty space and kind of balance out what's going on the left here. So for this, what I want to do is show a grocery bag and I'm just going to draw this out. And you'll see the main thing here is you can always prompt AI and try to get the result that you want, or you can give it a blueprint, which is this sketch that I'm going to do right now. And it takes a little bit more time, of course, but the output is a lot more accurate to what you're looking for. So let's go through this flow and you'll see the results here. So I have my pen tool selected and I'm just going to draw this bag, and it's kind of at an angle here. This is just going to be a paper bag, like those basic shopping bags that you buy or bring back from the store. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just kind of drawing an outline here. And now I'm just going to add a little bit of detail here to give it that like paper look and feel. And here I'm using Shift to draw. If you ever want to draw straight lines, you just hold Shift. So let's have our bag here. And outside of the bag, we're going to have groceries, and then we're going to have our point of sales kind of device here, which is usually like that little terminal thing that you tap. And I'm just going to kind of draw this by hand. But one of my recommendations and what helps a lot is if you want to get things that look a little bit more accurate, get, proper angles, it's always good to have reference images. So I'm going to grab those really quickly and then I'll show you kind of how I reference them and just, create better sketches. Alrighty, so I got my two image references here, and as you can see, this is just a shopping bag and this point of sales kind of device here. And I brought this in just as kind of a reference point to help me draw these better. So I'm just gonna clean this up. We're just gonna drag this line. And what's cool is because I'm drawing in vector, these are vector lines, so I can, delete things. Let's see, we're just gonna draw a line here. Let's put this little gap for the credit card. Here we're gonna draw this little circle, and then this is kind of the tap to pay symbol. We'll just put a little border. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect, it's just to get the idea across. Maybe I could put like a little shadow here. For the bag, let's do a bread, like a bread sticking out here. Then I just get rid of these handles. We can have an apple here, and then in the back we can probably do some kind of celery or lettuce or something. We can put a little logo here just to dress it up a little bit. So let's make it look fresh. We're gonna put a little leaf. And then now what I'm gonna do is just draw a line. And I mean, that's basically good enough. And what you can also do is you could just type what you wanna say here. So let's say POS device here, bag of groceries with a fresh logo on the front. So we could just add a few of these to kind of tell the AI what we're thinking. All right, I'm gonna delete this and I'm just gonna copy this over to the right. And now we're just gonna delete the text because we don't want it to generate that. For the counter, let's do modern concrete countertop. All right, this is our image. Now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna drop it into ChatGPT and I'll show you that real quick. So now I exported this as a PNG. I'm gonna just drag it into ChatGPT and I'm just gonna tell it what I wanna do. I highly suggest getting some kind of text to type tool just because it's more efficient and you don't have to be typing all the time. I'm creating a website image and I want you to create a quality SaaS image that shows a point of sales device with the tap to pay logo on the front. Behind it is a bag of groceries and there's a logo on the front, some kind of abstract logo that represents freshness. Maybe it's a leaf or something like that. Generate this with them sitting on a concrete countertop in HD. Make the image 1920 by 1080 so that it can fit well on the landing page. Perfect. Let's hit send and see what we get. So this is what I got back, and it's pretty good, but I see some issues here. The leaf logo there, it's kind of chopped a little, and then this is cropped out, which isn't great. So what I'm going to do is just tell it to fix that. Please fix the leaf on the front, make sure that it's a smooth logo and not distorted, and make sure that the top of the shopping bag isn't cropped out. Let's let it do its thing and come back in a second. And this is what it created after I added those fixes. I mean, that looks pretty good. And now I'm just going to copy this and paste it into Figma. I did also create an image with Gemini to show you the differences. And personally, Gemini, in my opinion, you just have to explain things a lot in a lot more detail. I prefer ChatGPT for these kind of things. It's just cleaner and simpler. Now what I can do is, so I have my image here. Let's get rid of this. I'm going to bring back this here. I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to copy and paste, Command C, Command V, paste this in here. And this looks good. However, I do not want that background. I want it to look like it's, just sitting on the website clean and just has that bottom section. And I used to always have to go to Photoshop, remove backgrounds, do all that kind of stuff. But now with Figma, you can remove backgrounds directly here, and it does a pretty good job. So let's hit remove background. I think it's going to remove the counter as well, which isn't great. Yeah, it removed the counter, which is okay. What we can do is we can go back to ChatGPT and tell it to remove the background, leave the counter, and that'll probably fix that issue. But let me just show you a few different things to do here. I'm going to remove the image there and turn this into a fill. We're going to add some rounded corners. We're going to copy and paste this in here, and we're going to hit Control Command M on Mac, and that's going to mask the image in for us. And just like that, really quickly, I can have a really good image that I can use, on my website here. What I can also do with Figma, which is awesome, is expand the image. So we can click more when we have the image selected, expand, and you can just drag this, and then we're going to hit expand, and now it's just going to expand the image for us, which is pretty awesome. And in a matter of a few seconds, it expanded the image for me, so now I can kind of have it zoomed out a bit more and just look better within that container, not squished. So what I did here is I just prompted ChatGPT, remove the background. I just want to have the counter and the elements, no background. It should be white or transparent. And now let's copy it and paste it in here, and look at that, boom. We have our transparent background. It looks really good. I'm going to expand it, so we're going to hit more, expand. Let's see if this actually works. So Figma doesn't allow you to expand transparent backgrounds, so that's kind of an issue. So what we're going to do is expand the image first, then remove the background in ChatGPT. So I'm going to make sure that this image fits across, and honestly, this even doesn't look half bad as is. But just for this demonstration, I want to show you how to get rid of that background, because clearly it's not really holding up there. So we have this size now that works, and now I'm going to export this, tell GPT to remove this background. You can also do it, in Photoshop in different ways. So what I did here is I took this image, made sure that it works widthwise, and I brought it back into ChatGPT and told it to remove the background, keep the counter in the devices, and that looks great. So now I can just delete this, replace it with this image, send it to back. The shortcut you do with that is Option Command and the brackets facing the right. And now we have our image here. So as you can see, we just have to work with kind of sizing and spacing. Another way to do this, a little hack that I like to use sometimes, is let's say I have this image, I like it, I don't want to go back to GPT, I just want to kind of hack and layer multiple images together. What you can do is I can copy this image, hit remove background, and then I'm going to crop this. So I'm holding command and dragging, and it's cropping the image to the counter. This works because the counter is flat. So let's say that's the counter, that's where it ends. And I can just take this image and layer it back on top now that it's the transparent image. So that's just kind of a hacky way to do it. I do that sometimes if I want to change like the lighting of the image in the back. So we go here to this panel on the right, and if you want to change, the saturation of things, the exposure, make it darker, you can do that here. But the top image is gonna cover everything below. So there you have it. We just generated this image really quickly. So that's one way that I like to create imagery. It just makes it so that I don't have to type everything out, go through 50 revisions. You start with a sketch like this, and very quickly you end up with an image like this. Now, is it perfect? No, there's like a little issue here that you can just Photoshop out. I can, you know, press select area here and I can remove it if I don't like it. That looks pretty good. I could also, you know, Photoshop that in if I wanted to, but this is just a way that you can quickly generate website imagery. So I also just want to show you some other examples that I've tried out. So I created an image like this. It's more of a full width image. And I did the same thing. You see the overlay, it kind of overlays the image. But I drew this, just drew with squares, containers, what I wanted, where I wanted it, and it does a pretty good job. Sometimes AI gets a little tricky with like the text, little details like that, but I mean, as a starting point or to get the concept across for a website, I think it's a really solid start. This is another concept that I created a while back, so just experimenting what that could look like. And you can just level up your websites by creating this custom imagery, which in the past you would have to spend hours and hours photoshopping, finding assets, you know, compiling, putting the image together. Now you can prompt and go through iterations really quickly. If you enjoyed that tutorial and learned something, it would really help out my channel if you could like, subscribe. Let me know down below in the comments what type of videos you want to see next, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.